info. It's good to have you really on the other side of the radio. It was a bit feisty the last hour. I wonder why we always fail, or not always, but most times fail to look at the issue when it's political and attack personalities. And I don't find it really funny, right? But that's by the way, it's past. Hopefully, we can have a good conversation this time around. Still looking at the coalition. This time, I'll be looking at a statement made by the Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi yesterday, talking about how River State is renowned, popular, famous. What other adjective can I use to describe it? Known, great for rigging elections. And this sounds very, very, very. It sounds like something I've heard before, right? It sounds like it's not the first time. And then I'm reminded that during the political back and forth in Rivers State, certain notable politicians had hinted on the possibility of rigging elections. For instance, the then local government chairman of Obiakpo, first in acting capacity and then later substantive, by the local government elections that have now been annulled. I'm talking about Chijuke. I'd said that, or I'd hinted that the Labour Party won the election, if not for, the rigging, the pen and the papers that, changed the results or the scores. And that's, of course, during the 2023 election. And, I remember then when it was said, I asked the question, why is it that nobody called, Nigeria is really a place to live. It's really a place to live because I'm thinking if that was done in China, my goodness, heads would have rolled. If that was done in the United States, a protest may have happened. If that was, revealed in a place like UK, certain people would have lost their jobs. But in Nigeria, it was a statement that was, just for media arguments and social media comments, and that was that. People who posted that video of Chijioke on X and Facebook had a lot of views, content creation and all. And that was nobody called to come explain, hey, why did you say what you said? But you see, he was not the only one, right? There was a Tony Okocha, Chief Tony Okocha, who also talked about, his time as chief of staff, was it, right? Was it chief of staff? Yeah, I think it was. And how they sat and wrote election results in the brick house, in Government House. There was another local government chairman, but I can't remember vividly how he put it. But I suspect he had also hinted on how elections were, accusing an individual, of course, how they had sat down somewhere to write results. But you see how interesting this is. Now, while one of the person who spoke, that's Chijioke, had talked about Wike's time as governor, Tony Okocha had talked about Rotimi Amechi's time as governor. How results, and I do not have an evidence to prove whether what they have said is right or is wrong. I don't have evidence, and I don't think even the authorities have evidence to that effect. No, except investigations are done. However, it shows two different administrations here in Rivers State. And if you remove those two administrations, the next administration you would have is that of Peter Odili's. Of course, Simnalai's administration is not yet complete, 2 years, and then he was suspended, so we can't even really dig deep into it. I don't think he has held an election, apart from the election that brought him into office, which was conducted during the time of Nyesom Wike. So it brings me to the question, are we really known for election rigging? I knew at the time in 2023 and even in 2019 and even in 2015, because I participated in all of these elections. In 2015, I voted. In 2019, I was in the media, so I worked. In 2023, I worked. I was on field. In 2023, I was out there working. So I do have an understanding of what really transpired. There were certain discrepancies, there were certain illegalities that happened, irregularities, like we like to tag them. However, INEC could argue that the results were, great, good, credible to an extent, fair. Maybe that's the word I'll use. And now that Amaechi has come out to say what he has said, that we are popular, known, incredible when it comes to election rigging, I can't help but ask, do you agree with that statement? Do you think that's a statement of fact? Do you think, given the fact that even the allegations are hovering around him as well, or over his head, do you think, that's true, an allegation dating back to, let's look way back from 1999. Have we ever had a fair election? I'm not going to say a completely credible fair election. I don't think there's any utopian state. Even in the United States, they had issues with elections. Some people contested it at some point. Even in the UK, they had arguments. So I don't think there's a perfect election result or a perfect election, but to an extent, we can call it fair in some of these developed countries. So when you look at River State, when you look at, can we say that we are notorious for rigging elections? I don't know. Do you beg to differ, or do you agree with Amaechi? I like to know your thoughts, and that's what I want to talk with you about. Because if it is that we are known for rigging elections, then how do we change that perception? Because Amaechi also has asked his supporters to ensure that they go toe for toe with merchants of rigging here in River State. So let's go to the phone lines now. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. What are your thoughts? Let's start with this caller, 92.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon, or is it evening now? Welcome on the show. Let's talk.
Good evening, Canada.
Yeah, Obed is back. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Obed Chima. Canada, Amaechi is very correct. River State is notorious for electoral fraud.
Okay.
You understand? Because if you look at what transpired in 2023,
okay.
Yes, we knew that Obi swept River State, but that election was manipulated. You understand? In favor of an exchange for a ministerial position. You understand?
But when you say it was in exchange, Nyesom Wike is not INEC, right? So can he? I'm asking. It's my job to ask.
Okay, let me say allegedly, okay? Because,
okay.
All
right.
Yes, because we are no longer 2023. But if you look at everything, nobody, forget about these so-called people claiming, they are on ground. Nobody will win fair contest. You understand? Leave all the noise. You understand? Nobody will win fair contest in this very state. You understand? That we know.
What do you mean by nobody? When you say nobody, are you saying nobody can win an election? What do you mean by nobody will win if that? Can you explain that so I can?
No, the noise. People that are making noise. How they are on ground.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, they cannot win fair contest. Now let me talk about 2015.
Okay.
You knew what happened. The returning officer that from River State, a professor, that was handed over a fictitious figure that he was struggling to pronounce. You understand? So River State is known for electoral manipulation. So
if River State is sorry, I keep asking questions. Don't mind me. I like to ask questions. If River State is notorious for, can we also extend it to the Right Honorable Amaechi, because he made this statement, but then the allegations about writing results during his time as well?
When I said River State, I did not extricate Amaechi or whoever.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Okay.
So it's true. They have spoken the truth.
All right. Thank you. I've got a commercial, so let me listen to Isaac Ken. Do you agree Amaechi has spoken the truth? Do you agree, Isaac Ken, quickly?
Yes, I'm actually speaking the truth, even if that I did not or I am not in line with his political style.
Okay.
You see, if River State is a place of one man, one vote scenario, I think Chief Sergeant Awuse has been a governor of this state for a long time, who was believing one man, one vote all the time of his contest. I don't know if you understand me.
I'm trying to, because I'm wondering how Awuse got into our conversation.
Rigging is the only option for Rivers politicians to get through.
Okay.
And that is why Nyesom Wike is now the heavy duty.
That's an allegation. You're saying Nyesom Wike is a rigger. That's a big allegation. I don't know how to prove that.
And wrote to me, we are the people, including the late Masha Harris. These are the people that made PDP what it was, and not until when Nyesom Wike now push out everybody and then become the
all right. Is it Ken? I don't know if I would agree if he pushed out people because people left. But promise, I'm sorry I can't take your call now. I do have a commercial. So
I have a very important thing to talk about, please.
But I can't take it now. I have a commercial. What can you send a message? I'm sorry that they had to take your call and make you wait. That's why I took that to apologize. But yeah, I do have a commercial in a bit, and I would have to let you go. But do stay tuned. When we come back, we will talk about if being on ground is synonymous to rigging in Rivers State. I'll be right back.
Stay with us.
But always my pleasure having you on the other side of the radio. And yes, if you're just joining us, you're welcome, because what have we been looking at? We've been looking at the Amaechi's statement and on Rivers State being notorious for rigging elections. I'm a bit confused because a lot of people in the studio right now. Okay, let's take the announcement. What do you have to announce? What do you have for us?
GrowMe.
All right, tell us about it.
Okay, GrowMe is a mobile
ensure that? That's number 3 question. To the phone lines now, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-0306416. Your thoughts are very important. Let's get to hear what you have to say. But Clever Sonny on WhatsApp says, Amaechi is very correct here. In Rivers State, yes. Okay, that's an allegation. So Clever Sonny, I'm going to skip that one. This one says, good evening, Kalada. Amaechi wants to stop election rigging in Rivers State. Politics is a game of dice. The dice rose to all corners. Amaechi, who introduced, I'm going to skip that because that's an allegation. He said, my advice to Rivers State people is to vote our conscience, not political looters. Adonis Opwene from Port Harcourt. But God bless is calling from Norwa, LGA. God bless, welcome. Oh, wow. I missed that call from God bless. But let's read some more messages. This one says, since 1999, Amaechi may have contested elections more than any politician in Rivers State. He did so in 1999 and 2003 for Rivers State House of Assembly, and 2007 and 2011 he contested and won as governor. This could suggest that he is an arrowhead in electoral malfeasance. Otherwise, how did he win those rounds of elections? Anonymous with that one. But let's go to Yenegua. Lawson is calling Darren. Lawson, welcome.
Kalada, good evening.
Why are you laughing? What is funny about our conversation?
Simply stating the obvious.
Okay, all right.
And it's not just even peculiar to Rivers State. It's everywhere.
Okay.
Just that the Rivers State one is different. It looks notorious because violence is added to that of Rivers State.
Oh, okay.
Violence.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it looks like in Rivers State it is tough. But everywhere you go, they just quietly do it and rig the election. In Nigeria, everybody rigs. It depends on who rigs the more.
Okay, so it's a game of rigging, not a game of voting, I guess.
No, people are voting, and sometimes they vote, but when it becomes like recently, it's becoming difficult. So what they do now is to buy the votes.
Oh, okay.
Politicians have a way of always beating the system. That's why when people say votes don't count, I laugh. Votes count very well, but they buy them. Like Edo State, look at the Edo State election. The Labour Party candidate Olimide Akpata, after the election, he came on national television now and said Edo people came out to sell their vote.
Yeah, I remember.
Vote to the highest bidder.
I remember that.
Which was APC and PDP.
I remember that. So,
it's obvious, but like just as I told you, that violence added to Rivers State. That's what makes Rivers State look more notorious than any other place.
All right. Thank you, Lawson. Daniel from Imo Gates. Daniel, it's good to have you, my friend Daniel.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah. Welcome, sir.
Daniel Imo Gates also.
Always good to hear your voice. Welcome.
Yes. No matter how you hide the truth, yes, one day it must surely come to the open. And take, as I mentioned them now, Bonny local government chairman during 2023 election, he said he was surprised that at the voting that Labour Party won more than 2/3 of the vote. But he was surprised when it was being announced Labour Party was nowhere. I quote again, one of them, Evans Bibi, he said,
I remember
that they knew what they did. That Labour Party, he mentioned Labour Party won all.
I remember that statement as well.
Yes, that they knew what they did, that no one can claim that he put Fubara there. Am I making sense here?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Then before that of Chijoke, then how many plus Chibika made himself? And I will even tell you, my brother, that he's even one of them.
That's an allegation, Daniel. We don't have proof to that effect.
Okay. I will. But my brother Kalada, the truth will surely come out, and that is the reason why we say that we are only hiding, pretending that we are in a democratic regime. So, in Abia State today, where I am, our governor Alex Otti is there by the people's mandate. They did not steal our vote. See what is happening in Abia today.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Inge Daniels. Let's listen to Joseph from Elime. Joseph, welcome. Let's get your thoughts. Good evening to you. Welcome.
You asked a question. Does rigging synonymous? Can you ask that question?
The question was being on ground. When they say we are on ground, is it synonymous to rigging elections?
Yes, it is not. Being on ground to me means that you are visible, you are reachable, accessible by your people. That is my understanding. I want to say that the statement credited to the former governor, Rotimi Amechi, to me is not in order. I would have suggested that he should have pushed for constitutional, that is, Electoral Act amendment, giving way for that election should be transmitted directly from the voting unit. But if you ask me if the state is synonymous with rigging, I would say yes, because even the state president Yar'Adua told us that the election that produces him wasn't free and fair. So Nigeria should push for that the Electoral Act should be amended.
All right.
I think that will go a long way, because we have heard allegations from different quarters that the election result sheet that will be visible or accessible will be fake one. That is, the real sheet will not be presentable. So they should do something about it.
Thank you very much, Joseph. I'm going to take a few more calls because in about two. Okay, I take one more call, 2 more calls, because in a bit we'll have a live appearance. But a lot of the messages I can't read them because you're calling names. You're accusing former governors, and I can't read them, for legal reasons. But let's do this one. This one says, regarding Rotimi Amechi's claim about electoral corruption in Rivers State, it's essential to examine his own track record. Amechi's first term was granted by court ruling, and the second term was marked by widespread allegations of electoral malpractices. Given this history, Amechi's assertion about Rivers State electoral corruption appears hypocritical and unfounded. I still maintain that Amechi's claim about electoral corruption in Rivers State is ironic, considering his own experience. His first term, like I said, was court-ordered, and the second term was tainted by electoral malpractices. Kevin in Port Harcourt. But I mean, if court is giving it, that means the court is saying it is legal. So we can't say it is illegal because the court has spoken. But let's listen to God Bless, who has called back in and is calling from Norwalk. God Bless, quickly. Tell us your thoughts. We've got to go in a bit.
Yeah,
straight to the
evening.
point. Yeah, good evening.
Nice work.
Great. Straight to the point. We don't have time for familiarities.
So, the former governor have just said it all, but I think the only way rigging can stop in River State is when people don't buy phone for people.
Okay.
And when you buy phone for everybody, they will stick to what you say. But if you buy phone on your own, you will defend your people's votes because everybody uses money to buy the phone.
All right, then. All right, thank you. Daniel from Omuma, welcome. Daniel, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah.
That's speaking with the only double header in the whole planet, double header done.
All right, quickly, we don't have time. Daniel, straight to the point, quickly.
And the reaction of Chibika Mechi on the issue that people in River State used to rig the election. It is that rigging that brought him to office.
That's an allegation, Daniel.
And he has nothing to offer.
Okay.
It's formation of ADC to come into power in River State or in Nigeria is null and void.
All right, that's your opinion, and you're entitled, but I think he's also entitled to think that he can win an election. I mean, the Constitution backs that, right? But I've got to go. Thank you very much. It's time for us to go for another commercial. When I return, it will be time for the major news. So please do stay tuned.
You are tuned in to 92.3.